Good afternoon, everybody. This is Professor Jameson. In this lecture, I will be going over the syllabus, classroom procedures, kind of generally like how I like to have things done. What I'd recommend that you do is pull up a copy of the syllabus and print it out, or maybe just have it up on your computer if you want to follow along. If you don't, that's your choice, no big deal. But it might be helpful if you do that. This class is Legal Research and Writing 1. It's worth 3 units. And on the first page of the syllabus is my phone number. Okay, that's my cell phone number. And if you need to contact me for an emergency, like you can't take the quiz or test or something like that, and you're about to get shut out, you can contact me, and for example, I can open that up. Okay. What I don't want you to do is text me if at all possible, and this is the reason why. Okay, here's my phone. Okay, it's a $30 phone. It's got duct tape on the back. I do not have an iPhone. I do have an iPad, and so I can get email messages on my iPad and things like that, and that's generally the way I want you to contact me, is through email. But if you do need to talk to me, that's totally fine. In fact, if you want to email me and you want to have a discussion on the phone, or you want to Skype with me, anything like that, I'm totally cool with that. I'm here to help you and succeed in this class. But I don't like getting text messages on my phone because it's a crummy phone, and it takes me a while to read them, and so don't text me on the phone. Either email me and I can pick it up on my iPad, or call me. Okay, just pick up the phone and call me. If I'm unavailable, I will call you back at my earliest convenience, but I don't want to get bombed with a bunch of texts on my phone. Okay, so that's kind of one of my pet peeves. My email address is there, thomas.jameson@saracoso.edu. Okay, Thomas is my first name, but I generally go by my middle name, Jay. So you want to, I'm very casual. If you want to address me as Jay or Mr. Jameson or Professor Jameson, whatever. In the past, a lot of students have just called me Professor J, and I'm totally cool with that too. So that whatever you want in that regard. I'm not going to be all undignified. If you want to call me Legal God, that would be cool, but I'm not expecting that. Okay, course description. Okay, this class is all about legal research. Okay, this is a year-long course. The first part is legal research, and then next year or next semester, it's legal writing. Okay, a lot of you are going to have the benefits of taking legal research with me and then doing legal writing in the spring. I just got on at Saracoso last year, so I kind of was thrown into the legal rewriting first without any reference to what the background knowledge of my students was regarding legal research. So we're going to do legal research in the fall, and then we're going to do legal writing in the spring. Okay, this is the second online class that I've taught. It was a bit of a learning curve for me with legal writing. And I'm sure I'm going to do a much better job this semester now that I've kind of been more comfortable with the system, ironed out the kinks, and understand how to use the Moodle environment to better assist you to learn. Okay, so we're going to look at what legal research involves, and actually have you do some of it towards the end of the course, and just get a general understanding of what legal research is about. And I'll go into exactly what that is in another lecture. Okay. Learning objectives in this class, or learning outcomes. I want to teach you about statutory law, which is codes, which is basically what the legislature makes. Okay. Also talk about case law, which is interpretation of statutory law, and judge-made law, which is where the judges make up their own law. That might be surprising to some of you, but under our system, they can actually do that. I'm going to try to teach you how to do a case brief, which basically you take reading a case and you boil it down to its essential points, And the reason we do that is it's easier to prepare legal research memos down the road if you understand how to brief a case. Okay, don't freak out about briefing cases because it's a skill. It just comes with practice, and we'll get into that. Okay, we're also going to talk about computer-assisted legal research like Westlaw and LexisNexis and other sources on the internet that are available out there for you to do legal research. Okay, one of the things you're going to have to do is find a law library that you can go to. Okay, I'll talk about that more in the first week, first week's lecture. But for right now, you are going to have some type of access to computer research. If you can't get online research, I'll talk about the alternatives with you individually. Okay, got to put my glasses on here. Getting old is a bitch. Shepherdizing. Okay, shepherdizing is all about updating the law. Okay, it's probably the most important task in legal research, and we'll spend some time talking about how to shepherdize and how to, what we call, update the law and make sure it's still good law, so we don't cite things that are no good anymore before the court, because that's not cool. Okay. Understand the federal court system and the state court system. Here in this class, I'm going to talk about California. Why? Because I practice California law. I'm an attorney, and also so is what I know, right? And most of you live in California, so we're going to talk about how the California court system works along with the federal system. Okay, and we're going to learn about citation, which is how we refer to legal materials when we're putting them before the court. Okay, so those are the things I'd hopefully like you to learn in this class. Okay, probably won't be masters of all of them in 6 months, but if I can at least introduce you and familiarize you with these concepts, that would be my goal, and that would be great. Okay, so expectations. Read the chapters. Okay, now if you want to know how to do good in my class, okay, if you want to get a good grade, I like to provide a roadmap of success for my students. And so read the chapters. Okay, just don't read the chapter summaries at the end. Read them kind of all the way through. If there are things in the chapter I don't want you to read, I will let you know about that. Okay, we're going to do online discussion. It's only going to be 10% of your grade, but participate in that, and it helps me get a lot of feedback and kind of understand where you guys are and see if I have to reteach concepts or you don't get something that is in the lecture or my video lectures as well, or in the course books. So, you know, participate in the online discussions and complete your assignments, quizzes, and exams. Also try to do that on time. Okay, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Let's move on to page 2. Okay, the textbook, okay, it's Bast, Carol Bast. I've used this in the past many times at different colleges I've taught at. It's a decent text. There's no really great legal research and writing text out there, in my opinion. Maybe someday I'll write one. Unlikely, but you know, so this is one of the better ones, in my opinion. The edition is the 5th edition, okay, and obviously the book is expensive, and I'm not going to snow you with, oh, you need to buy the updated edition of something you're going to refer to all throughout your professional career. It's a helpful book. But if you have the 4th edition, or even I taught from the 3rd edition last semester because I was kind of thrown in at the last minute and never got a copy of the 5th edition, which I have now. If you have the 4th edition, don't go out and buy a new textbook. Okay, the 4th edition is fine. If some of the assignments are a little off versus the 5th edition or something like that, I'll work with you. Okay, just bring it to my attention that that the questions are different, or you know, that things don't seem the same, and I'll work with you, because I don't want you to have to buy a whole new textbook, particularly if you took legal writing last semester with me. Okay, online attendance and completion of assignments. Okay, there's the breakdown. Written assignments, 40%. Okay, and that's the most important thing for me. Quizzes, we're going to have 2 quizzes, generally after the 4th week and after the 12th week. Those will be worth 10%. We'll also have a quiz this week on the syllabus to make sure you've read it. Okay, that's 10% of your grade. The midterm will cover the stuff we cover for the first 6 weeks. The midterm will be in week 7, and that'll be worth 20%. And then we'll have a cumulative final that'll be worth 20% at the end of the semester. And we'll have online discussion forums that'll be worth 10% of your grade. and we'll talk more about those throughout the class. Okay, grading is a standard scale, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, you can see it there. 90 to 100, all that. Last semester when I taught legal research, I can honestly say if the people did I taught legal writing. I'm sorry. If you put the work in and you did halfway good on the quizzes, you got an A or B. Okay. There's no reason if you don't put the work in that you won't be able to get an A or B in the class. And if you put the extra effort, you're certainly getting an A. Okay. I'm here to help you. I don't have any agenda. I don't grade on a curve, anything like that. If everyone does the work, everyone will get an A. And if they have a problem with that, I will show them your work and say, listen, everybody did what was expected. If my expectations were too low, you think, then that's on me. That's not on my students. Okay. All right. Assignment and due dates. God, please get your stuff in on time. Okay. It really helps me to not have assignments out there. And I know there's going to be one or two of you that don't. And there will be a reduction if you don't get things in on time. Okay. Particularly at the end of the semester. Okay. Because people like to dump things on you at the end. And at the end, we're going to have a legal research assignment. And you need to get your draft in on time so I can get it back to you and get it finalized on time. So when the class is over, I can get your grades up. And I'm sure you want to do those. And one of the things about a professor is all professors hate to get dumped on things at the end of the semester. So if you want to stay on my good side, you want me to cut you some slack, get your assignments in on time. Okay. Quizzes and exams I already talked about. Okay. We'll have a quiz this week on the syllabus. We'll have 2 other quizzes, generally halfway between the midterm and the final. That's just to keep you fresh and more for me to evaluate whether you've retained what I've learned or whether you're learning the concepts that I think are important. So quizzes are important to me as a teacher to see how I'm doing as well as see how you're doing as well. That's my philosophy. Okay, class participation, that's basically the graded discussions. You're going to have to post something every week. You don't have to post a long essay as long as your responses are thoughtful and germane to the subject. That's fine. Also, if you guys want to suggest topics to discuss over the course of the semester, that'd be great. I'd love to talk about things that are related that I'm not really bringing up, but that you think are important. Okay, so we can go ahead and do that as well. Okay. There's a grading rubric for the discussion forums. Like I said, it's in there because it has to be in there. Just post something intelligent, post it on time, and that'll be good. Okay. I'm not a big discussion forum type teacher, but I do think it's important and it is required. Okay. I generally like to interact with my students through videos and other media, but they are there and they're required. Okay. Let's see, questions about reading homework assignments. You can email me in the virtual office. You can email me individually. If it's something generally that the whole class can benefit, I would recommend that you put it in virtual office so I can post a response and everybody sees it. But I know a lot of students don't want to feel like they're stupid, which is obviously there are no stupid questions. If you have a question, I guarantee you there's another student that has the same question. So don't be afraid to post something in the virtual office if you don't understand it. I am here to help you through the text and teach you to learn. And if you have a question, I guarantee you other people are going to benefit from it. Be that as it may, if you want to email me individually, my email address is in there, and go right ahead. I generally get back to people within a day or two on emails. I don't look at them every day, but I generally get a response back to you in a day or two. Okay. Plagiarism. Okay. Do your own work. Okay. I can tell when you guys are just pasting, copying from other people. Okay. If you do that, I'm not only going to reduce your grade, but I'm going to reduce the person you copied your work from as well. Okay. There will be one exception to that, which I will talk about later. And in the class, when we get to ethical considerations, I'll talk about plagiarism, which doesn't have the same effect in the law as it does in other areas. Okay. If you email me, put your name at the top so I know who it is and what course you're in. Put that in the read line so I know, because I get bombarded with tons of emails from the school. And, you know, I can quickly, you know, pass through those and get to the important ones, which are yours. Okay. Waitlist process. You need to sign on to the class by the first day, so I know that you're here. If there is a wait list and you haven't signed on to the first day, you're going to get dropped, and we're going to fill that with somebody else. I don't know if there's a wait list right now. I'll have to check and see, but you need to log on. Also, you need to do your work, okay? There's going to be a check in 3 weeks, and if you haven't done anything in 3 weeks, you're going to get dropped. And then 2 other periods throughout the semester. If you're not keeping up with the work and you don't have a decent reason for doing so, you may be dropped, okay? So be here forewarned, as we say in the law. Okay, so the drop dates are in there, and accommodations, if you have any particular physical limitations or I don't want to say mental defects, but you know, things like ADHD or whatever, you need, you know, maybe you have difficulty looking at a computer screen and you need a printout of a test versus, you know, taking it online. I'm totally here to work with you in that regard. Okay. So if you just bring those to my attention in an email, and we'll work on that. Okay. All right. Okay. The tentative schedule. Okay. I'm going to go on generally. This is what we're going to be doing during the semester. Caveat. Okay, I'm a lawyer, so of course there's going to be a caveat. I reserve the right to change the syllabus at any time and redo things based upon things like, you know, are people really getting it? And do we have to spend more time on something? Or, you know, assignment just isn't working out, so I'm not going to grade it. Okay, whatever it might be. Okay, I reserve the right to change the syllabus if I want to. Okay, all right, so let's look at the assignment schedule. Week 1. You're going to watch this video, you're going to read chapter 1, and you're going to take the quiz on the syllabus. Okay. Now, there'll also be a discussion point in the discussion forums that you'll have to respond to. There's two particular discussion points. You'll have to post something on that, and I'll be checking. Like I said, as long as I don't care how long it is, as long as it's thoughtful and relevant to the discussion. I'm not going to require you to repost to your fellow students, although I would invite you, and you should, read what the other students are saying, because that's part of the learning process. Okay, it's as important to learn from each other as it is from the teacher and do your own independent learning. So I would hope that you would take the time to read what the other students have said. Okay, be that as I may, some of you probably aren't, but I'm not going to require you to respond to other students' comments. Because a lot of times, in my opinion, the responses are just, oh, okay, that's really good, or, you know, they're not very thoughtful. That's just my experience. Okay, so there'll be a discussion forum thing to look at, and then the quiz number 1, which will be 10 questions on the syllabus. All right, so I would print out the syllabus and have it there in front of you when you're doing the quiz. This is just going to be all right from that. Okay, it's just to make sure that you've at least looked at it. All right. Because I don't want questions down the road. Oh, I didn't know about this and know about that. Well, then I can point to the syllabus and say, hey, there it is. All right. Okay. Week 1, we're going to read chapter 1. Okay. This course will cover chapters 1 through 8 of the book. Okay. We're going to generally do them in the chronological order, with the exception of chapter 8, because I want you to be familiar with computer research earlier in the course than at the end. So we're going to read chapter 1. Okay, now chapter 1, there will be some exercises that are fairly simple, and you need to respond to those or get those into me by the end of week 2. Okay, so if we read a chapter, most of the assignments are not going to be due to the end of week 2. But that's not an invitation for you to get behind. Okay, what you don't want to do is like, you know, oh, well, my responses are due, so I'll read chapter 1 at the end of next week, and then, you know, spit out a couple of crappy responses. Okay, most of the responses, unless I say otherwise, a paragraph intelligently, cogently written is enough to respond to the question. Okay, you don't have to write me a 2-page essay. If I want a 2-page essay, I will say. Okay, my advice to you is, read the question and be honest with yourself and say, hey, is this a good response to it? Okay, sometimes a paragraph will be enough, sometimes maybe two, but I'm not going to, you know, load you with textbook work. Okay, it's more to make sure you're on top of the material and reading the material and understand the material. Because if you don't, I'll see that in your responses and I'll be able to email you back and say, listen, you got this wrong. Okay, I generally also like to post good examples, and so I may email you through the semester and say, hey, this is really good work. Can I show it to the rest of the students as an example of what really quality work looks like? So if I do that, give yourself a gold star because I can't give it to you online. Maybe I'll post a happy face or something. I guess that's the equivalent these days of a gold star you got in kindergarten. Okay, so I'm not going to go through this every week of the syllabus. You can see there generally we're going to read a chapter either 1 week or every other week. Okay, there'll be a couple of few weeks in there where we won't read particular chapters, but I will have either assignments for you or outside written material for you to be to look at. Okay, we have the second quiz, which is really going to be the first quiz on the material in week 4. We have the midterm will be week 7, not week 8. Okay, because we're going to cover a lot of the material earlier in the class and save room at the end for more project-related stuff. Okay, so the midterm will be week 7. My quizzes are generally a combination of multiple choice, or the quizzes will be multiple choice. The midterm and the final will have some essay components, maybe some vocabulary matching, depending on what I want to throw in there, what kind of mood I am, how bad I want to torture you, whatever it might be. But they will be open book. I'm not big on proctoring and things like that in a class like this. You guys are adults. You should be responsible for your own work product in that regard. And so you should be able, if you take the time, to get most of it right. I usually give people an hour to respond to the quizzes and a little more time on the midterm and the final. Like I said, if you have some particular learning disabilities or issues and you need more time, just email me ahead of time. Let me know. Not a big deal. Okay, so I'm not going to go through it week by week, but I do want to mention a couple of things. When we get towards the end of the semester, after Thanksgiving, or right before Thanksgiving, you're going to have a little legal research project to do. You have a couple of choices. You can choose that from the assignments in the back of the book, or you can choose your own. You have to clear that ahead of me. Okay, you'll have Thanksgiving week to work on that and turn in a rough draft to me the following week, so I can make sure that you guys are going in the right direction. You need to get that rough draft to me on time, because like I said, I don't like getting loaded down at the end of the semester. And how are you going to have a great product if I don't have time to review it and get it back to you so you can revise it? Okay, unless you're already a legal research god, then maybe you don't need to be taking this course. And maybe some overall, I will tell you with my experience in legal writing last semester is the quality of my students' work really surprised me how good it was. And so I'm hoping the same from you. If you're struggling, I'm here to help you in that regard. Any other questions you might have about the syllabus or generally in the class, feel free to email me, and either I can respond to you in email, or if you want to talk, just shoot me your phone number and I can call you up, or Skype, whatever your preference is. Okay, thanks a lot for watching this video. Let's get to work and have a great day.